I'm going to call this meeting to order. And if everyone could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a moment. It's interesting at the end of the year that November is a month for Thanksgiving and December becomes a month for reflection and anticipation. We have a lot we haven't endured yet. And forgive me for using that word sometimes, that we have endured another year. And let us hope for the expectations of a change in the wind for the upcoming year. I ask you just to take a moment for whatever resonates in your heart. Okay. Thank you. Any public participation? Is there any? Hearing none, we'll move on to the recommended actions. I am going to waive the reading of the items listed on the consent agenda and request a motion to approve the consent agenda as proposed.
So made. Second.
It was, Joe, are you catching who?
Yes.
It was, yeah. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Can you do the roll for the people that are remote?
Aye.
We have an aye from Boulay, Broder,
Aye.
Marshall.
Aye.
Thank you. Routine matters, you have the operating statement from Sarah. Is there any questions for her? Or Sarah, do you have any comments for us?
No comments. Does anyone have any questions?
Hearing none, the warrants are available for review. There is no old business, as far as I'm aware of, on that we need to discuss, so we're going to move on to new business. I'd ask for a motion to approve the donation of one number 2 arbor press, 22 cap 42 holders, 2 gauge pin sets, 2 ER collect 32 sets, 2 tapping heads, 1 spin indexer, 1 horizontal bandsaw, 1 Wilton vise, 1 drill press, 1 surface grinder, 1 Kurt DL6-40 double vise, and various measure and cutting tools valued at $6,000 to the machine tool department from Mr. David Robert with Excel machine.
So move it. I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions?
That's a very generous donation. It's all great equipment too. Yeah. It's nice stuff. It's very nice.
I'm going to take those who would know at their worth because it might as well be Greek to me. I have no idea what we have a motion and a second. If there's no discussion, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Broder,
Yes.
Marshall, and
Aye.
I also gave us an aye. Thank you.
Second recommended action is to approve the donation of a 2007 Dodge B2500 4x4 crew cab pickup truck with an 8-foot snow plow valued at $6,000 to the automotive department from the St. Amand Corporation.
So move it.
Have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion?
Yes. I have to back out of voting on this because of the genetic violation.
Okay.
Go company. Did we get this with a tank of gas? Gas at home under the truck.
It's got to double its value.
Yeah. You can put the other 25 in. I've got it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Great donation.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Yes. Marshall, I.
Thank you. And one abstention.
And one abstention. Beth? Is the customary,
Letters are, being drafted as we speak.
okay, thank you, Beth.
You're welcome.
Are there any items unanticipated? Hearing none, we're going to move on to information and proposals. I have nothing that I'm aware of to report, so I am going to turn it over to Mary.
Hi, so today we had our second student advisory meeting for Student Government Day. It is going to be virtual this year, and we are sending senior Logan Soares and Josh Ayu. They have been selected to go. Students would like to look over and review the student handbook, focusing on the hat and cell phone policies. Specific students are making proposals to change these policies. However, they have not yet been received. The lunch seating situation has been fixed. At the beginning of each cycle, students pick their seats, and that's where they will sit for the next 2 weeks. Students would also like to see a reduction in homework, not schoolwork, sorry. Or at least a schedule to the homework to reduce stress. And Parker plans to propose this at a staff meeting in January. Outside of the Student Advisory Council, the winter dance is in the air due to COVID. However, Student Council and the PTO goes through planning it. The Winter Festival by the National Honor Society was a success with many families from the community coming. The National Honor Society also was successful in donating many gifts and toys to the PACE Head Start Foundation. And Skills USA had their in-school testing done and completed.
Do you mind, can we go back to the hats policy? You're saying they haven't been received, but students have copied. Please, Mike.
One of the things that the kids brought up at the office and second period we had, they want to talk about being allowed to wear hats in school and changing that policy, and also being able to use phones in lunch. Right now, it's no hat policy, there's no phones at all in school. I said, there's a process you have to go through. I need a proposal. Once I have the proposal, I'll bring it forward to the staff. They will then present to the staff, where the staff will vote, what they want to do, and then if it goes through, we bring it to you guys.
Okay.
So, but today, something's going on. I have not received any proposals yet, but they're working on it.
Oh, I don't doubt that they're working on it. But I'm curious, when you say there is restrictions in the handbook in regards to.
The handbook, right, the handbook would have to be amended and changed. That's why we went through this process.
Okay. But I guess I was confused by you haven't received them, but. Okay. There is language in the handbook referring to both hats and cell phones.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you have the language.
Mr. Parker has received the proposals from the students for the change. That's what.
No, but I guess I was trying to understand what Mary said by saying that they hadn't received it. I thought,
Oh, she was referring to Mr. Parker.
okay, so it's misunderstanding on my part. Okay, any questions for Mary? No. Okay, for the administration. In admissions?
Sure. We had a admissions breakfast with our sending school districts. We also had a very well-structured, we'll call it a round robin that Bethany organized with our sending districts. Students came in and they were in set groups ahead of time. They moved through each shop very quickly with their groups in a very organized fashion where students presented to them. And we had wonderful participation from Rochester, Mattapoisett. We had about 60 students, I want to say, from Carver. How many students from Lakeville, Bethany?
55.
55 from Lakeville. And all of the 8th grade from Acushnet. Currently, we have about 250 applications for next year's class, which is a phenomenal number given where we are in terms of the application process. So we continue to see high levels of interest in Old Colony. And I'd like to thank Beth publicly for the organization that went into the visit, because I think we were waiting to see where we'd be, and we hadn't made any decisions relative to those visits until we talked to some of our neighboring schools and learned that they were doing something of a similar nature. So, thank you, Beth. It really went off without a hitch, and I think the visiting schools were very pleased. We also had a guidance breakfast. We met with representatives from each of our 7 districts. And, we were able to give them an update on the admissions process.
Are we doing any tours for parents during the day or something? So that is ongoing?
They're required to wear masks. They sign in, we have their information. And they obviously can't come in if they're symptomatic. And that provides the tours on Tuesday mornings at 8:15.
Anything for Aaron or Mike? COVID update.
As we know, COVID certainly changes every day. Jolene was kind enough to collect the latest information as of this afternoon. I put a little something together since the beginning of our in-school testing program, which began on October 8th. 370 tests have been performed. A total of 16 staff and 86 students have been tested through our symptomatic or test and stay program. There have been a total of 45 positive results as of today, which includes 7 staff and 38 students. All staff and 48 students have been able to continue with in-person learning during this time as a result of the testing program, while allowing anyone who tested positive to follow up in a timely manner for the necessitated isolation period. In addition, today, we sent out some information that was shared by a gentleman from Harvard University with statistics that exist statewide for anybody who's interested in delving deeper into the statewide data. And Jolene, I believe, sent that out to our committee for viewing, and it can give you an opportunity to see what's going on at a statewide level as of December 8th. We have not received any updated information post September 8th. That was the most recent data available.
Any questions on the test and stay? We good with folks at home? Any questions on test and stay?
No.
All set.
Okay. School lunches be here because I thought your ideal last meeting was a good one, and that if we needed to flesh it out a little more, but I'm gathering that an accommodation was made for once the cold weather has come.
So yeah, just to clarify, it's been quite a process trying to keep kids safe in lunchroom. We started with bringing all the kids down, assigning them seats by shops and so forth. And that's where Mary initially said that the kids were a little upset by that. When Mary was out on co-op, we did a second seating where we let the kids pick their seats and recorded them then. This last week, we decided to, because that was a while ago, to kind of revisit, make sure everyone knew where they were sitting. So we redid it again to show you where they're sitting. So we have signed seats based on where the kids want to sit with their friends. We've gone through all 4 rotations of the schedule. Each kid is now going to get a card that tells the lunch rotation and their seat number for each lunch. They'll just put that right in their whatever, so they'll know where to sit. You know, when you say accommodation because of the weather, if you drove around back during the school day, like, what are those kids doing outside? They love eating outside.
So they still.
They all eat outside, and the message is, if you just decide to stay inside, you will sit in that assigned seat that you have. And yeah, they love eating. So, I know.
Maybe for me, outside, but.
Yeah, I think it's just because of co-op, they're all outside anyway, so they just say, well, we'll just keep working outside. So that's the situation with it.
And Mary, that seems to be going well. for the students?
We do love reading that.
I'll wait until you're about 20 years old.
I just have
Gotcha.
one question. When they're outside, I know that we say that, you can't seem to contract COVID outside, but are you able to tell who's like, because kids can still turn out positive even within the time frame that they may have been outside with the kids, and then you don't know, so how do you trace, or is it important to
So-
track?
No, so we would trace, so the nurse would bring the student down.
Yeah.
Say, where'd you eat lunch, Monday, whatever the period.
Yeah.
They would say, I ate outside Monday, inside on Tuesday, and she just goes to the spreadsheet, and hits F4, whatever it is.
Right, but that's only if you know who's inside. How do you know who's outside?
We don't trace outside.
You
There's
don't
no
know.
contact tracing outside for.
Seriously?
So that's.
Okay.
Kids can't get COVID outside.
Well, I got it, yeah, but,
Anyone else? Go ahead, Steve.
Have you made any further steps? You said you were going to put scan codes or something? QRs.
They didn't go with the scan code, they went with the name instead. So that process that Mike explained was the alternative to the scan.
Anything else? The COVID update was intended to be a broad subject area. Does anybody have anything they would like to discuss under that umbrella?
You didn't have it, yes.
Okay,
Like you said.
All right. I do want to say that, the nursing staff and their support have been amazing. It comes down to science now. We have additional, staff from, the outside organization, I forget the name of it, that does a lot of testing. So they move through really quick, kids back in school almost after announcement stops. So, they're doing an amazing job. The organization, everything is just been terrific. So I gotta give a huge, praise for the nursing staff and their support for this time.
the ancillary assistance we're getting with the test and stay, is that through this school year?
So, and there's two pieces. One is we funded a part-time position through SF3, and that person has taken on a huge piece of what Jolene used to be doing in terms of written notification. The other piece is for the test and stay, because there's such traffic now. We actually have a full-time couple of people, and that's what Mike's referring to. So they're in the modular for all triage, and when students go in, they'll meet with those two individuals for the testing, and Lindsay will simultaneously be working on pieces associated with that. So there's a huge team of people that's working in the response efforts, and I would echo Mike's sentiments that that team of people have finally got this down to a science where it's very fine-tuned, and the coordination effort in terms of proactive preparation of letters in the event of a potential positive, all the way through a reported positive, have been very fluid.
But the test and stay was the assistance with that, the state.
That's state assistance through CIC, correct? Yeah. So two of those people are from the CIC program. One of the people that comes in at noon and stays till 4 is in charge of all written correspondence associated. So even when someone tests and they test negative, we're still required to provide them with written correspondence. So you can imagine the inundation that presents our nurses with while they're simultaneously working with students. And so this person has been specifically designated through our ESSA funds to deal with all written correspondence. And the 12 to 4 time is very intentional, because by the time 12 o'clock comes around, we know at that point in time that so many of the people that are going to be positive for the day have already been reported, and it allows that person that 4-hour window of time beyond the school day to wrap up any necessary activity.
But one quick thing, what's the current protocol on getting vaccinated?
We have no requirement for vaccination, but we do have about 58% of the community vaccinated right now.
Only vaccinated.
58% in total was the number that was reported to us last week of our Old Colony staff and students.
And the state hasn't come down with anything?
no vaccination requirement from the state, but I will tell you for the first time ever, I registered for the midwinter superintendent's conference. And in order to attend in person, you have to be vaccinated. Otherwise, you have to attend remotely. So we are seeing a change in some of the operations, certainly by some of the state-run organizations.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Bob?
I didn't quite catch the number that Aaron gave and to which group it is assigned. Was it 58% of staff? Is that what you said?
8% of the total school community,
Thank you.
cumulative community.
I'm sorry, that skipped out the audio. What was that?
58% of the entire school community, so that's a combined number of staff and students.
Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Because if you remember, the density requirement is before you could do anything, it was 80% of your entire population. Before we next meet, we're anticipating that the commissioner will have yet another ruling.
So I had a meeting today, the commissioner spoke to superintendents. We can expect an extension of the mask mandate in early January following the holidays. Most likely. No details have been released, but I'm expecting that. I'm not, I can't speak, I can't speak definitively to it, but that announcement will come out when they learn more about the Omicron variant. They want to know a little bit more about the Omicron.
Anything else? Mr. Parker, I know it was your update. Principal's letter was sent digitally or will be sent digitally, because I don't think I saw it today.
No, that newsletter will be out by the end of the week. That'll come digitally. Working on that. So, yeah, I just got a couple things. Kind of just want to kind of highlight how things go in school. But if I could go back to the vocational exploration, one of the things that, again, that doesn't take credit well, but it was an amazing program that she put together as a total revamp of what we did in the past. The kids, most of the kids who were in the shop ran everything. They were demoing, kids went through there. We got tremendous feedback from all the staff from those schools. They said they love this format. So that was, I just want to say that the kids are amazing. You walk in, the kids welding, auto, they ran the show. Just a tribute to our staff and how those kids performed. I couldn't believe it. So it was a tremendous effort and great program. So as far as newsletter, we did add a new feature to it. We're gonna add a page just for seniors. So give all the seniors as much information we can, so they can just go right there and find any information they need on their senior year. So look for that also. I just want to give a huge recognition to the staff in this building who, we're in crazy times and we have so many events going on and doing things from everybody. I don't want to say I don't want to miss anybody, but if you just saw us setting up for the college fit, you had all the staff and the teachers just getting everything ready, put it together, break it down, get ready for practice. It's just amazing what's going on, in this place. I think the morale is high, which is good. The kids are very energized. Today was a great day, a half day. We had our staff meeting today, half day. We had a holiday appreciation luncheon for all the staff from Riccardi's, and it was just awesome. People were in here just have a really good time. Also putting together, starting the grading subcommittee. Last summer we had a book club. We did a couple of books on grading. And Jolene's going to be sending an invite out to the policy subcommittee. If they want to join us, we have our first meeting January 5th at 2:30 at the high school. There'll be staff, school committee, hopefully, parents and students to talk about grading, final exams, just kind of talk about the process we have right now. See if there's anything out there, any change in what we made, just to get a good overview and look at grading at this point. It's come up a lot. That's it.
Anything for Mike? Before, because it's going to obviously be a quick meeting tonight, but both Mike and Aaron have touched on the admissions. Beth, would you like to touch on it? Other than, shying away from all the kudos that is being sent. But it'd be interesting your perspective and what feedback you're getting.
The events that we had recently with the 8th graders, I feel as though they did go really well for the students. I was very proud of our students. They really stepped up and did shine in their vocational areas. It was very kind of cool to see how timid and shy they came in and sat in the cafeteria in their groups. And by the end, how they came in and were energized and excited about, did you see the weld, what they were doing welding? And, oh, what about electrical? And, oh, wasn't that so cool about the graphic stuff? So it was neat to hear those kind of conversations. I think overall the few events that we have done in person, so we've done obviously the 8th grade tours. Carmen and I were able to go to ORJS back in, I'm sure it's kind of a blur, but earlier in the season to talk to their 7th graders, which we normally do this time of year. However, that's the only school right now that we've been able to connect with. And that seemed to go really well. It was as though they were excited to have us in person talking to them. And then we also did high school night in Acushnet, and that was very well received. That was for 8th graders. Acushnet has a high school night where they invite all of the prospective high school choice, the selections that the students can make. All the high schools come in and present. Their format was different this year, and I did like their format better this year as well. But that was very well attended, and I felt as though parents are excited to receive that information in person and not lectures via a Zoom. So I do think the recruiting efforts, that we've built up over the years, and definitely to this point, the fact that we can get face to face and be in person with people is really making the difference.
Thank you for your efforts. Future dates are listed here. The budget subcommittee meets on Monday. District school committee will be the 19th. Here. Is there any other business?
I would just like to wish everybody and their family a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Hold on just for a second.
I'm just noting that it's 2020.
It's
No.
next.
It should be out.
Just be here.
Good. What's Santa? One more time.
Oh, I'd just like to wish everybody Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And your family stay safe. That's it.
If there's nothing else, I'm calling this meeting adjourned. I'd ask that the